NVIDIA just lost close to $1 trillion in market value after DeepSeek released a single AI demo. But while everyone is focused on NVIDIA's crash, they're missing something bigger. An entire group of stocks are about to follow, and I have seen this pattern before. In this video, I'll show you how one AI company can crash the entire stock market. I'll reveal which sectors are most vulnerable to DeepSeek's breakthrough and which stocks are secretly connected to AI so that you can know how to protect your investments or how to make money from them. Before we get into it, I spend over 20 hours analyzing stock patterns every week. And that's how members of this channel caught NVIDIA's 200% move. If you want to be part of this group, make sure to grab your free investment guide, which has all of the patterns that we use from the link below. Now let's get into what DeepSeek just revealed. We have a weekly chart of NVIDIA. We always want to be using the weekly chart to see the larger picture of things, of what's happening. And then here we have a daily chart of NVIDIA. And why do I use NVIDIA? NVIDIA is one of the Magnificent Seven. And the Magnificent Seven make up close to 30% of the USA stock market. So whatever happens in these stocks normally can affect the whole stock market and affects everything else. And not only that, Magnificent Seven companies also affect a lot of other stocks that are in business with them. And you're going to see this later in the video. And then this can create opportunities to make money either by short selling or buying based on the direction and the stock is going to go. So the first thing that you must know is that the stock market is very correlated. If AI stocks are going up, that means that stocks which support AI companies like AI infrastructure, energy companies are also going to be going up in value. So we can see that NVIDIA went up 200% last year. We see SMCI went up as well, 240%. We see something called VST went up 600%. We see NRG went up 176%. So these companies are all always correlated. And in this way, that's what makes people lose a lot of money. Because if you're holding like 6 of these companies, when something bad happens to NVIDIA, everybody that's in bed with it is going to make a huge loss. That's the first thing that I want you to know. Stocks don't move on their own. Stocks normally move in industries. And to prove this, and to prove to you that stocks always move in industries, let's go into the semiconductor industry. This is the weekly chart. Whenever the industry is going up, the stock is going to be going up as well. And when the industry is going up, you want to be in the best stock in the industry. So here we see the industry did a 195% move, but NVIDIA did a 800% move. So I always want to catch the best stock. So you see NVIDIA follows the industry. Which other stocks might be in this semiconductor industry? There is ADI. These stocks all follow each other. So your job is to catch the best of the best stocks. There's AMD. You can see it correlates. Whenever it's going down, this one goes down. It's going up, this one goes up. So here you see the industry went up, but AMD didn't go up as much. So your job as an investor is to always catch the good stocks, the best stocks in the industry, and make money from them. That being said, let's see what happened to NVIDIA. And the reason why NVIDIA is very important is because it affects a lot of the stock market. So here we see a lot of bearish signals. We see a head and shoulders pattern. NVIDIA breaks it on huge volume. That's a very bearish signal. It's a reversal signal. Reversal signals mean that the stock is reversing its long-term trend. So from what I'm seeing, NVIDIA could actually be entering a bear market. Will the rest of the stock market be entering a bear market too? We do not know yet. We just have to wait and watch. But our job as investors or long-term traders is to create opportunities from these swings. It doesn't matter where the swing is going to be. Is it going to be bullish? Be long. Is it going to be bearish? Then you can short the market. But all you have to do is wait for a good signal and get into it. And good signals normally come when the industry moves are turning. Head and shoulders pattern, we see a double top here as well. You can see it better in the weekly chart. I created this resistance line. It came, fails here, and then goes into a bear market. Want to see what a double top can do? You can see what happened in SCELH. It was a very nice stock that went up almost 300%. Double top on the weekly chart, we can see that it has never recovered. Of course, I don't think this is going to happen to NVIDIA because the earnings are still great, but this is a very bearish signal. And then look at the earnings. The earnings still look very good, but there's one little trick that a lot of people don't know. Growth stocks are normally priced on what they are going to be doing in the future, not what they're doing right now. So the future is being priced in currently. And that normally means that when earnings are accelerating, that means the stock is likely to be going up because it's going to be making more money in the future. So what we like to see is an average of 40% over the last 4 quarters. NVIDIA, of course, is doing way better than this. The earnings are still growing heavily. But we also like to see acceleration in the earnings. So we want to see 40, then 60, then 70, then 100. But NVIDIA is doing the opposite. Despite the fact that the numbers are great, it goes from 1,000, 750, 600, 170, then 110. That's a bad signal. And the last sign that I did not like from NVIDIA compared to the other stocks that I'm going to show in this video is that when a stock crashes like this on the weekly chart, you like to see it recover very quickly. But NVIDIA just crashed under support on volume and under the 30-week simple moving average on volume. You can see it hasn't done that in a while. The last time it did that was here in 2022, and then it had a 60% drop. And then before that, it did that here, did a 60% drop. Before that, did it here, 85% drop. So these are very rare signals, but when they happen, we have to be paying very huge attention. So let's see other stocks in this industry that were affected, just to show you that all stocks are correlated. So we're currently in the semiconductor space. We see ARM. So ARM, it was going up, and then it had a 10% crash. On that day, it doesn't look so bad, but of course, this is not a good stock to hold because you can see that it is just consolidating and going nowhere. It doesn't pay to be holding a growth stock that has poor price action because you're not getting dividends and you're not getting the price action either. And whenever you see price struggling and not going anywhere, it's best to stay out. There is A-Lab. This one had a better signal than NVIDIA, right? It's coming back to test support. You can see this long-term support over here, right? You see that support on the gap? It has tested that support and it tried to recover this week. This is something which we like to see, but NVIDIA didn't have this. That's why it was quite a bad signal. And then the next stocks that I want to be showing you are VRT, CLS, and POW. We see VRT stock, which provides services essential for digital infrastructure, which is used by AI. So this stock is actually helpful for the AI race. And let's see what happened to it. It had this 30% drop. I was actually holding this stock. So it went up 81% from here. It was looking good, came back to support, went up. This is why I don't want to be buying so many stocks in the same industry, because when something like this happens, they all come together and they just crash. So VRT had this 30% drop and we see it trying to recover. Is it a buy? I don't think it's a buy right now. You like to wait for a very good signal, but this looks like something which is something called a shakeout, right? So I want to see it recover above the 50-day simple moving average. If it doesn't do that, then it is not to be trusted either, because what normally happens is that stocks will come, break support, retest the support, and then just continue to crash. So let's wait and see what's going to happen in VRT. CLS, which is something which I really liked. This is why NVIDIA was not looking good. CLS crashed on that day 30% as well, but you see it recovered immediately. So this checkout normally happened to scare investors out of the stock. So CLS scared people out and recovered. So this is still a good stock to hold if you're already holding it, but if you don't have it, don't go in yet. Wait to see a very good entry signal. POW, which also supports it, was going up, and then it also had its 17% crash. Not affected as much as the other stocks, but it did have a big crash. And then you can also see engineering and building stocks, which provide power solutions for AI companies and support data centers. We have AGX, ARG. So you can see it had a really good signal here, cup and handle signal, and then it comes and then it fails. This is why risk management is very important. So you see it had 20% drop here, and it has also failed to recover, but it is being held at support. So as a long-term investor, of course, you're not selling it, but this is not a good place to be. What you normally want to do is wait for it to come, form a good reversal pattern here to enter if you're not in the stock yet. Next one, which is in this same engineering and construction, is EME. So you can see how one trigger in NVIDIA triggered a lot of other stocks. This is why I'm saying that a lot of the stock market is connected. That's why you always want to be making sure that your risk management is very good. Because if you're not, and you're leveraging all of these stocks, you're going to be punished. See a 20% drop, and then the other one is fixed. These are stocks in the same industry, and they have a very similar price action. They seem to move together. Then the next industry are utility stocks. So these utility stocks provide energy that will be used for AI. So if AI is going down and doesn't need that energy, what do you think is going to happen to these stocks? One was VST. And this one is doing way better than NVIDIA because you see inverted head and shoulders. That's a good sign. You could have gotten in here. Max was about 134% return. Forms a base on base. Great signal. forms a mid-chit, it's a good buy, and then it comes and crashes because of the DeepSeek. Now, is this a fake out? I think it could be a fake out because what normally happens is that it crashes on huge volume, recovers very quickly, buyers are there to support the stock, and then, we are waiting to see, does it close this gap and continue? So what I did, since I was holding this stock, because I thought it was going to recover because it's a very strong stock, I sold about 30% here, and then when it recovered, I sold about another 30% here. So I just have 30% of my original position. I'm just waiting to see where the stock goes because it is not showing a good signal, but also it has not broken support. But NVIDIA did break support, so that's a bad sign. Then we have GEV, very similar. So these are, how do they call it? These are utility stocks, so they're going to be having a very similar pattern. So here you see I recommended it as a buy. Those who could have had a swing trade could have gotten a quick 20%, but of course I was holding it for longer. When it crashed this day, I just thought it was going to recover quickly. It recovered here, and then I got out unscathed, and I just exited my whole position as well. Then there is TLN as well. On that day, it had a 22% drop. Then there is NRG. This is a utility stock as well, which is looking good. It has also not broken support, but you can see it is looking super volatile. That's why if you're in stocks in this sector, you want to be reducing your positions. Stick to one. I'm sticking with VST or NRG and just waiting to see what happens. This could be a fake out and then it just continues, which is something which happened in Hood stock. So you can see here, I bought Hood stock around here, $23, then it crashed, right? And it recovered immediately, and then it did 90% move. So this is something that can happen in stocks. Scares out people, but as long as it doesn't close under the 50-day for over a week, then you're pretty much good as a long-term investor. So NVIDIA is not doing that. We don't see that there. And it's a stock which drives the market, so that is quite scary. But the other stocks like VST, you can see they recovered quickly, so just keep holding them and then waiting to see what happens. So in this way, you can see how stocks are connected and how you can lose your money in several stocks and how industries are connected. In that, if this NVIDIA was going up last year, you could have made money in all of these other stocks by spreading out your risk because semiconductors were going up. But also, if a very huge bearish signal comes, you're likely to see a very bearish signal on this side as well. While I don't think that the bearish signal is going to come soon for these other stocks, of course, I don't know. We just have to wait and see these patterns. If I see it, I'll be updating people in the newsletter, so please sign up for that. And if you found this video valuable, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you, and may the market be with you.